Welcome to the Appalachian Mountaineer. This is a race at Newcastle, Virginia, and plenty of people here. This is a pretty fun race. It's kind of in the later season, and oftentimes the weather is unpredictable. It's been rainy before. It's usually pretty cold. This is the coldest race I've done almost all year. You can see I've got some gloves on, my full jacket on. This is a beautiful area. It's early in the morning, but the sun is coming out. It's like roughly 45 degrees at the start, so it's not terrible. I've got my black bibs, cargo bibs on, and I am using the Insta 360 X5 camera. You can see I export in like a 1:1 frame, so I can crop in if I want to do all of this fun moving around with the camera, get a really good wide frame. I could crop in like this to get like an Instagram reel if I wanted, and I can move out into like the 16:9, like a more video, a YouTube focused video. The camera is super good. It gets great light performance. You can tell I'm getting like great shots here, and I think during Black Friday, which is coming up, this camera particularly is going to be on sale for a killer deal. It lasts like 200 minutes, and you can mount it in a lot of awesome ways. I had it mounted on my handlebars here. You can mount it on your chest. It is probably the best camera I've seen. They have replaceable lenses. Just offers you such a great ability to like edit in an app, and I don't know, it's super flexible camera. You don't have to worry or fret too much about lining up your shot or anything, and they have this new feature you can see on the bottom left here where you can add in overlays in the app, which is really cool. Let's get back into the race. There are a lot of people local to the Virginia area here. I really wanted to get warm, so I moved kind of farther up to the front and jumped in to the race.
It's like 7 miles?
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of two sections with a short
Plateau.
downhill section in it.
Oh, a little downhill. Okay.
Second half is the harder part.
Steeper.
Probably similar, but looser.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you can hear us talking about the race profile a little bit. You can see it's kind of hilly starting out here. We go around this little loop. The first part of the race we pre-rode the day before, and it was gorgeous. It is way hillier than it looks coming into the first climb, the big climb, which is at like 60 miles. It was kind of a hard first part, and then it gets a little descent, and then into an even harder second part, like we were talking about right there. I am on, I believe his name's Justin's wheel here, and we are pretty much hammering into the start of the first like good climb. Cam Jones won this race last year, winner of Lifetime Grand Prix and the Unbound 200, which is pretty impressive. One of the Virginia Tech riders taking up the front. There are a lot of Virginia Tech riders in this race, and this guy's got super narrow tires on. You're going to hear about that later, but he took up a pretty strong pace. I am not in super great shape right now after taking 2 weeks off for my wrist. My wrist kind of hurts too during this race, so I'm going to use that left arm a little bit more to take some pressure off my wrist. Justin gets back on the front here and starts hammering towards the top. We have dropped a lot of people. So up at the top here, we have David attack around the left side on his rigid mountain bike. I didn't know why he brought a rigid mountain bike, but I found out later. A lot of things are going to happen in this race, but for now, let's just go down this first little fun gravel descent and see if we can catch David. I'm going to let you watch that without me ruining it with my voice.
Car.
And we are all back together. Here going into one of the first gravel sections. Let's see, Justin up in the front. Keith Girardin on the left there. He's actually, I think, doing the Masters 40 plus, but kind of racing it like it's an open. As with most gravel races, we're just hammering. For some unknown reason. I don't have a lot of fitness right now, so in the back of my brain, I'm particularly like, man, we could go a little slower. Just like this whole time, Max taking up the front. He was hammering a lot on these uphill sections, and then we were kind of relaxing down most of the little slight downhills and stuff, which usually in gravel I like to just keep it an even, steady pace. Here I took up the front on a section that I was more comfortable with, that we pre-rode the day before. We just continued rotating, kind of like looking at each other. And then I was talking to David here.
Yesterday, Sarah and I rode this, and we stopped at like one of these outcrops. There's a black bear like 20 feet down the hill. Huge, it was like 400 or 500 pounds.
So, chatting a little bit, trying to get through this day that's going to be roughly 5 to 6 hours. There were a lot of leaves on the course here, and you can see I was actually talking to Justin before he came by me, and I noticed his tire was getting a little flat. I don't really know the etiquette for letting someone know that their tire is going flat. Usually I feel like they already feel it, and it was a pretty smooth gravel road, but he had to stop and pump that up eventually. Yeah, you can see him on the right there with it's bouncing a little bit. I didn't know if it had sealed, and maybe he knew. Following Max here, Max was taking some risks down this, in my opinion, just because I knew like it was a little sandier. He was taking some corners kind of wide. There are leaves on the outside. I couldn't tell if there were like rocks in any of this stuff. These leaves look very much so like rocks in a lot of scenarios, and there's some massive like gullies across the road. You can see he took one wide there and right into a gully. I was getting a little nervous about some of this stuff, and definitely just leaving a gap to see where they were going and if they were making it through. I do have 45 mil tires on my bike now, so feeling a little bit more confident with following people down descents. I do have some big old wheels, the Elite wheels on my bike. I made another video about this bike, so you can check it out if you'd like to see what I was running during this race, but like 13 speed. Anyway, we're continuing down this hill. David on his rigid mountain bike taking up the front. It's a pretty good bike for this day, and I might think about doing a little more over biking in the future after this race. You may have seen the teaser, and there's going to be a lot going on during this race. We just continued rolling through together. Keith Girardin on the back, kind of hitting it when it was his turn. All of us were kind of hammering a little more than, I wanted to. I knew there was a paved section after this gravel road, and I have these deep wheels on. I like going a little bit faster. I kind of wanted to be alone. I knew Cam Jones had actually soloed for most of this race the day before, and I was thinking that might be a little bit better opportunity for me. I was figuring it was going to be very much so like this for the rest of the race, and hoping these guys were spending a little more energy than they were comfortable with. So we continued to get to the pavement part, and I send my attack. You could hear David there yelling no because he didn't want it to get cagey yet. We're pretty far out. We may only be 25, 30 miles in at this point, if that. So I continued onto the pavement section and just kept on the pace around high tempo through beautiful roads of Virginia. Got to play around with the little drone, get some of these paved roads here, and I was eventually brought back by David and the rest of the guys. But we continued rolling together. Max was really pushing the pace up one of the climbs after that paved section. We're still not onto the big loop yet, but we got closer to the big climb, and everybody's saying like, oh, I'm cracking. Like, you have fun on doing your own pace. And I'm thinking, why did we go this hard the whole time just to everybody crack on the uphill? But I figured I'd just do my own pace too. I'm also feeling a little cracked. We get into the base of this, and it is a very steep uphill. So I'm in my easiest gear. I have a 50 tooth on the front and just trying to do what I can. At this point, I had already separated from everybody. Could tell Max was maybe a minute behind, and then get to the top and start this descent. There were a lot of leaves on the descent, but I figured I needed to just go as fast as I could. And there was a lot of these little gullies. I couldn't really see what was happening, but I was being pretty careful most of this race, and get up on this left side where there's kind of a channel there. I was like, oh, I need to cross back over because my channel's going away, and hit these leaves. I must have hit a massive rock and just lost my front wheel. Landed on my back there. You can see reach my arm up there to grab the collarbone, make sure it's okay. That's the same way I broke my collarbone the first time, so I was super worried. Get back on the bike as quickly as I possibly can so I don't lose much time to the guys behind. Realized I left my jewel bow glasses behind, so had to run back up and get those. You can see me reaching up and double checking my collarbone again because it hurt pretty good. I don't think I hit my head too hard, but I was a little dazed at this point, so just wanted to keep moving and make sure everything was all right. I knew there was an aid station somewhere like in the middle of the climb. We're going to roll that back and see exactly how I crashed. You can see me on the left side of this little channel here. The leaves made it look like not much of a channel, but once my wheel dipped down in there, I really lost it and couldn't get it back. Maybe a little suspension or a little bit bigger tire could have saved me from this one, but landed pretty hard on that shoulder, just like the back of my shoulder, which is kind of a rough way to land. I get to the aid station and I'm feeling pretty okay. It was a little bit more tame into the aid station. I'm hoping the rest of the gravel is pretty tame so I don't have to jostle around too much, because I did hit a rib and it was kind of hurting. All of a sudden I just hit these massive puddles, so I'm like weaving in and out of puddles. I get up the next part of that climb. Remember, it's a 2-step climb and it's pretty chunky. I'm thinking at this point actually my shoulder's hurting pretty bad. I'm like, maybe I should turn around and go back to the aid station, but it was too chunky. It felt like going back down was going to be way too hard. Eventually Keith actually caught up to me. I was expecting Max to catch up to me because he was the last one hanging on, but Keith caught up to me and kind of flew by on the descent part. I was able to keep up with him on the uphill, but remember I had that right arm injury, so my left arm not able to compensate anymore after hurting my shoulder. I even had to stop and get off just to like relax a little bit, walk around some puddles, just because it was really hurting my shoulder at this point, and I didn't want to do any more serious damage. I knew at the bottom of the descent there was another aid station. I was planning on stopping there and maybe getting a ride back, because my shoulder's really hurting and it's kind of swelling up at this point. Getting back on my bike, trying to go down the chunky stuff, super steep, smooth descent, but I had to stop in the middle of it right here just to like stretch out and make sure everything was okay. You could see people passing me and I am just collecting myself. In fact, I had done a little break on the collarbone. I already had a plate in there, so I bent that plate up and then broke the distal end of the collarbone just a little bit. It didn't feel that bad, and I still had stability in my shoulder. Like right now we're a week out and I still am able to do a lot with my shoulder, but figured I could continue on. Got down through an aid station. They said it's probably not broken, which it didn't feel like it was broken. And there was this bridge here, and I was kind of upset. Like, maybe, why didn't we stop at the bridge? So I just walked through the water, because at the last aid station they had said, you're not going to be able to ride the river crossing. I was like, oh, you're going to cross the river. And then the arrow kind of pointed kind of in that direction. Looking up at this footbridge, I was like, man, I wish I could have gone over the bridge. I get up to the section, and then I see somebody going across the footbridge. So I just like totally did that and didn't need to. Ryan was the guy going across, and he was on a single speed. So let's chat with him for a second.
Did you ride most of it?
I probably rode most of it up to the aid station, and then
Yeah.
just at the top, I was just wrecked.
Yeah, for
My
sure.
arms and my back, I had to get off
It's
and
like
walk.
putting it all into it.
Oh, it was. I've just been wrestling the bike all day.
That's savage.
It hurts.
So he was on a single speed unintentionally, wrong gear, Di2 wasn't charged, and all of a sudden he's single speeding for the whole brutal day. I have a hurt collarbone.
All right, you go on. Yeah, I might sit on your wheel.
So I tell him, you can go ahead. Talking about me hitting my collarbone, what I'm feeling, we're very close to the end here. We're like 3-4 miles back, and it's a rail trail. Super smooth. We did have one more river crossing, but me and Ryan here actually sprinted at the end. In the lead was Max Rudolph, then David Blinn in second, Justin in third. I got fourth, Ryan fifth, and then I think Keith Garardin did pretty good. I don't know where he ended up in the overall, but he definitely won the Masters. There will be a link to get your own Insta360 X5 Black Friday deals are going to hit, so if you use my link too, you'll help me out. Get an awesome camera. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the Black Bibs and Insta360. See ya.